Hello and howdy ho everybody, my name is Foxy Games and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV full story playthrough. It's been a little bit of time since we've been in the beautiful town of Limsa Laminza. Well, not really a town, it's a city-state. And we have a bit of a trip ahead of us. So, let's go and see what Alphino's got in mind. First of all, we'll talk to Alice and Lise. I spoke with Urianger and Thancred along the way. To say they were surprised by our stratagem would be something of an understatement, but they did not dispute its logic. Vilbrand was always Y'shtola's domain. I haven't spent much time here, to be honest. It's quite nice out here. It's very high up. My goodness, it always is very high up. But so scenic, isn't it? Look at just how beautiful the landscapes are. Tataru should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So we're going by sea after all. Is Marowib lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You are right, inasmuch as we'll be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it is simply not feasible for an airship to travel such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then it is equally infeasible to sail an Eorzean Alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice. Which leaves us with only one other option. Speak of the devil. Sorry to keep you waiting. May I present to you Captain Carvelin of the Kraken's Arms. The Kraken's Arms? Don't tell me you made a deal with pirates. Greetings and salutations, scions. I take it from your comrade's tone that you will no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement. Not at all, Captain. Pray forgive my sister her outburst. She has ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the high houses of Ishgard. But where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn do indeed still wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intent on securing passages to the Far East, you came to us, knowing us to be the proud purveyors of said region's finest spices, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out on the high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law, as set forth by our indefatigable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Well, I, for one, think the captain has a point. The Five Seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir to House Durandare vanished at sea. Even now, nearly 20 years later, the poor Count remains convinced that his son still lives, and would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you are prepared to abide the capricious whims of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you to Doma itself. I can only take you as far as Kugane in Hingashi. We will require time to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. Did Tataru just threaten this guy? Savage, if so. But isn't she just the cutest? The poor little boy had only seen 14 summers when he left Ishgard. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to finally be free to explore the world, unbeholden to all the stuffy traditions of the Holy See? Such a shame that he never returned home. Without him, the Count de Durandare must look elsewhere for a successor, and the good Lord Janquinard is one step closer to being the next in line. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tataru, because to me it either sounds like you've threatened the guy, saying he'll be next, or you're saying that ship with a bunch of nobles' riches are out there for him to plunder. It's going to be one or the other. I'm not sure what just happened. I could have sworn he was about to turn us away, but then he changed his mind. Blackmail, is it? This is a dangerous game the two of them are playing. What guarantee do we have that Carvelin won't just throw us overboard? Oh, I think I get it. Pretty sure these guys are the ones who ended this young noble's life, and Tataru knows it. Oh dear. Suddenly, all those hours Tataru passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seem rather better spent, do they not? That said, I had intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure Tataru took in making Captain Carvelin squirm. Yeah, Tataru's a little savage. Who would have thought? I say we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while they ready the vessel for departure. Tataru and I will procure the necessary supplies. Alice, I should be grateful if you would use the time to brief Oriange on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedures in the event of an emergency at sea. How very prudent of you. Very well, I should go and speak with him. What of Foxy and Lise? I would like the two of you to return to Revenant's Toll and speak with our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide would be most welcome. When we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Sounds like a plan. Let's go, Foxy. Oh boy. Trusting pirates. I'm not sure I like the idea of it. But what choice do we have? Well, here we are. We'll need to talk to lots of people, so I think we should split up. I'll ask around the House of Splendors. You take the Rising Stones. I'll meet you hereafter. Got it? Oh, yes. Let's see. They'll all be in the basement. Here's Home, rather. You are truly planning to travel to Doma? I do not know what to say. Forgive me, I shall aid you to the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land, nestled on the eastern coast of Althard. Along the banks of the One River, our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish, but travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to none. I remember sitting on the banks of the One River as a child, watching the fishing boats drift by. But now the One River is closed to all, the moon gates open for none. If Doma knows peace in our time, I should like to see it with my own eyes. Perhaps partake of those hot springs Home tells me of as well. Well, if we do our job, maybe you'll be able to see it. Hey, Gary. Greetings, Foxy. What brings you to the Toll this day? What? You are for Doma? Heavens, you scions should have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine you'd fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity. The Emperor dead, Garlemald in chaos. It seemed the time was ripe. Beneath our Lord's banners we gathered and fought to reclaim our nation. But when Xenos arrived with the 12th Legion, it was over in an instant. Ooh. Lord Kyan was a good man who cared only for his people. Though it pained him to kneel to Garlemald, he did so for our sake. And for our sake he would willingly have endured that ignominy for another 25 years, had we not beseeched him to act. But we convinced him that we could win. that we could defeat Xenos and the Empire, and for our failure, he paid the ultimate price. Tataru's entrusted me with the remainder of her responsibilities in her absence. Should you require aught, pray do not hesitate to ask. The other party must be out. Naught would bring me greater joy than to join you on your journey. However, Lady Yugiri made it clear that we were to remain here and safeguard the community we have built. That's understandable. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. You go to join Yugiri and Gosetsu in this fight fills me with such joy. Forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nagai clan have served Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Doma Castle, even. Now it is home to the Imperial Viceroy's witch and her host of men and Magitech, rather. To think that which was once the shining symbol of our heritage and the seat of our dear Lord Kayan has become a den for Garlean dogs. Doma was all but wiped from the face of Ulthard. Only Doma Castle, seat of our lord and the symbol of all that we were, was spared the wages of war. Yet for the blessing that is, the thought of that witch and her sycophants claiming it for their own fills me with unspeakable anger. Understandable indeed. Well, with any luck, we'll see them deposed. Where are you, Lise? There you are. Learn anything interesting? The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about Far Eastern customs, the importance of formality and politeness. I'd like to think Eorzeans can be just as stiff and stuffy as anyone, especially as guardians, but anyway. Did you know they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard, actually. Or at least that's what I thought, until they told me I was holding them wrong. And then when I spoke with the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all a load of stupid old... Huh? What? Fate? Oh. Wow. What you learned sounds a lot more useful. Unless someone invites us for dinner, of course. I hope they do. That would be nice. Some lovely Doman cuisine. What is going on over there? Oh, it's an escort quest. Well, we won't be doing that. Right. No point waiting around here, is there? We should head back to Limsa Lominsa. Alphino said to meet at the ferry docks, I think. So he did. Off to Limsa, then. Oh boy, the pirates are already here. The Misery is the finest ship ever to sail the Rotano, and I'll not hear any man say otherwise. An army marches on its stomach. Tataru took that lesson to heart. Did she now? It's times like this I'm glad we've got Tataru taking care of business. A surfeit of sumptuous foods, of wondrous sundries, plenty of clean undergarments. Yes, I do believe we have everything we need for a lengthy voyage. You returned, Foxy. I trust you learned much from our Doman friends in Revenant's Toll. I'm eager to hear all, that I can wait until we've left port. We will have time enough to talk on our journey to Kugane. Our spice-trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you've completed yours, you may inform the deckhand that we are ready to depart. Something left undone, my friend? If not, then let us be off. Well, it's gonna be a while before we get back to Limsa, or anywhere near Eorzean shores. All set, lass? I'll see you to the ship if so. Here we go.
Twelve be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Urianger! Tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise, see crimson embers darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall, see azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
Oh, a parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
Now that is a sword.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
See you soon, Urianger. See you soon, Eorzea. I will admit, their ship is fancy.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself. Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
That's real fancy. Oh no.
Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
Oh, for the love of... If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Well, it sure couldn't hurt to be out there to help. You know, in case there's a kraken or something. Oh, this is unsettling. Oh, this is spoopy. I forgot about this part. Just deathly still, and yet we're definitely moving. This ain't right. This ain't right at all. Odd. Most odd. Well, do you have any idea what's going on? No. As the man said, despite the absence of wind and current, the misery is somehow being pulled off course. But we have wind. Look at my dress. My battle skirt, as it were. Well, why not fire out the cerulean engines you have hidden below? An excellent suggestion, based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. Wow, they've got cerulean engines on their ship. I'm telling you, Captain, it's them things the lads saw. Things? I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive. An adjective, for example. Sea-wolf superstitions and fairy tales, not more. But if you must know, the things which he is so reticent to name are the souls of deceased women said to lure sailors to their deaths. Sirens. Preposterous! Yes, indeed. If it is neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, then it is probably a predatory entity of some sort. Perhaps a siren or some such. For all we know, it could be a fellow spice trader employing magics to seize and plunder passing vessels. Regardless, we have but one recourse, to let the current take us where it will and deal with whatever we find there. Oh, Alphino. Don't tell me you're scared of ghosts. What a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I'm beginning to like you, girl. I assure you the feeling is not mutual. Once we arrive at our destination, be it a vessel or an island or something else, Lisa and I will remain with the ship to defend it in case of attack. Foxy, I believe you would be the ideal choice to venture forth and deal with the cause of our troubles. Then it is settled. I know not what awaits us, but it will rue the day it reeled us in. Agreed. The SIRENSONG Sea is now accessible. The first dungeon of Stormblood. Let's have a quick chat with everybody before we go in. I'm not saying that I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that vengeful spirits are plotting our demise at this very moment. I'm just saying we cannot discount the possibility. Sure. The fiery one. Alice, was it? 'Tis a pity she holds our profession in such disdain. She would make an excellent pirate. I wager she would if she weren't so morally against the idea. What? What are you looking at me like? Why are you looking at me like that? I am as calm and collected as ever. Carry on. Oh, Alphino, you are not okay. Alphino was terrified of ghost stories as a child. I'm glad to see that some things never change. Poor Alphino. I'll make sure Tataru stays below deck until we know it's safe. Good, we can't lose our favorite potato. Well, nothing for it but to enter the SIRENSONG Sea. Now don't ask me where all these people came from. Come with me? Then let's do this. I'm going to assume these other adventurers are just pirates. Just for the sake of keeping things canon. We cannot move any forward just yet, though there is something up ahead. More of them. Confound it! Oh yeah, and Alfino and Lise and Alice are all helping us right now. Island ahead! All hands brace for impact! We appear to have arrived at our destination. Care to go greet our host, Foxy? With pleasure. Let's make sure we've got everything. I think this is a decent pile. Let's stop here. Alright. Well, we couldn't have gone any further ahead anyway. First boss. We've got Lugat. He's about to be dead. He just doesn't know it yet. This one's quite straightforward. Just stay the hell out of that. And stack on that. And dodge that. I barely even have any need for my cooldowns in this fight. Things start to get a little bit spicier, but nothing we can't handle. And down he goes. What do we got in this treasure box? Something I can use, and something I can use. Two new pieces of gear. Lovely. Might as well grab this one too. Neither things that I can use. Well, I suppose that's fair. Oh yes, don't step in the spooky blue fire. It burns. I do like the spooky theme, spooky take on the Limsa Lominsa theme, by the way. I think it is suitably spooky. That's Shelchon to keep the beat down. Lovely. All the bad things are dead. Another treasure coffer. What could be inside? Why, more things that I cannot use. Well, this ship looks suitably haunted. Hup. Come on, friends. We've got some zombies to kill. It looks like we can go no further until they are dead. Turn them this way. Oh, we have a red mage in the group. At least we have some AoE. Stay out of the burn. And the next boss, a suitably spoopy man named the Governor. What does he govern? Who really knows? He's about to govern the tip of my sword. Do be careful when Shadow Flow comes out. Do not stand in the spoopy. Like that person is. Lovely. Everybody seems to know what they're doing. Oh yes, when these clones come out, you have to be very careful about where you go when he uses Shadow Flow. Well, my healer is making things quite easy for me. I much appreciate it. Dragoon needs to run. Okay, very good. And he's going to use another Shadow Split, but he should be dead within just a moment. And there he goes. Great job, everybody. Well, let's see. Cannot use earrings. I'll take those. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's a lot. That is a lot. No, 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 no. Well, I'm taking a lot of hits, but not a lot of it's doing damage. Oh yeah, this healer is on point. I hope they stick around at the end so I can give them a commend. Oh, watch out, good friend. Alrighty. Hey, everything went better than expected. Oh, new stuff that I cannot use. I got the earrings. Let's move ahead. This guy serves as a mini-boss of sort, I believe. Well, he certainly has mini-boss HP. Not necessarily mini-boss abilities. Well, that's one ability that the last boss used. Finally! Jesus, that took forever. Time for the final boss. Better not start it without me. That would be rubbish. And we have new boss music. Also, she's strangely beautiful in a creepy way. Let's do this shit. Virgin tears. Do not step in those. They hurt. Also, make sure to leave plenty of room before and behind you. When she casts Morbid Advance, you're going to walk forward against your own will. Oh, I touched the bad. Well, it's okay. You have plenty of time to make sure that you're going to walk in the right direction, so... As long as you're pointing in the right direction, you'll always be fine. Morbid advance, you're going to walk forward. Safe now. Very good. More tears coming out. Okay, she's probably going to use retreat soon. My path behind me is clear. Yep. Okay. I want to be pointing this way. Alright. Let's take her out of the tears. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is not good. Morbid retreat. I'm going over here and pointing my back to this. That guy is straight fucked. More tears. Oh boy. I was almost in the bad there. Here comes a limit break. Morbid advance. Run to the other side and quickly point this way. You are fucked. Probably not gonna die, but yeah. This hurts a lot. Ah, but down she goes. And thus, the first dungeon of Stormblood is complete. And we're free. Man, everybody looks so spiffy. Let's see. Let's first give our command to our lovely healer. We cannot use that or that, but we'll look at it. Looks cool. Let's pass on it, so whoever wants it can have it. And we're ready to go. Time for an exit. Hey, I got 2 commands. That is just lovely.
Thank the 12.
Halfino's happy to be on land.
Everything here would appear to be in order. Good. Repairs should be completed by the time we return to the Misery, whereupon we shall resume our journey without further delay.
Hopefully.
I swear, if I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
You're adorable, Halfino. It is quite a journey to Hingashi.
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane. The only port open to outsiders in Hingashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma. All the colors of the rainbow, all the peoples of the world, all in one place. I wish you could have seen it.
Welcome to Kugane, a beautiful Japanese-styled port town. Absolutely love the aesthetic. Thanks again for saving us from certain death at the hands of Lorelei and whatnot. We'll not soon forget it. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, must have just turned daytime. Yep, it's 6 in the morning, Eorzea time. Strange. Is it just me, or is the ground swaying? Oh, that's just getting off the ship, Tataru. By the 12, I have never been happier to be back on terra firma. Our voyage has instilled in me a new appreciation for surfaces which do not move of their own accord. Oh, poor Alphino. Oh yeah, we got a new piece of gear, didn't we? Oh, we got a couple. Wow. Just jewelry. It won't mess with our current glamour. It's very colorful, is it not? Sure is. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. Oh no, it's much prettier. Congratulations, you now stand in Kugane, the western port of Hingashi. Regrettably, the only port in this nation open to foreign trade. Oh, and I do apologize for the unforeseen difficulties which befell us during our journey. Needless to say, your assistance in overcoming them was much appreciated. I'm sure. Well, we can't use these, but we will look at them. Wow, that's interesting. These are just plain old shorts. Huh. Myriad delights await you, should you like to explore and experience, assuming you are sufficiently open-minded, that is. I, alas, cannot afford to linger. Well, I guess you've got business elsewhere. Glad though I am to have arrived, I will remind you all that we are far from home, with limited resources at our disposal. Duly noted, brother. I shall take care not to enjoy myself. In any event, Doma is our final destination, and our first order of business should be to secure passage there. Captain Carvelin, I realize you pledged only to take us as far as Kugane, and I have no desire to change the terms of our agreement. I should, however, be interested to know how you would go about reaching Othard were you in our position. At the risk of stating the obvious, you are in a port. Surely there is a kind and generous soul here who will aid you for the right price. You cannot be the first traveler seeking passage to Doma. The captain makes a good point. 'Tis like that Yugiri and Gosetsu were forced to come here for the self-same reasons we were. They must have found a way to Othard, assuming they are not still in the city. Ere we seek passage, mayhap we should first seek our friends. Leave it to me, Alphino. Making friendly inquiries is my specialty. Lest you forget, I got plenty of practice in Ishgard. Captain Carvelin, could you direct us to the nearest tavern? Desperate for a drink, are we? You may find one in that large building just beyond the pier. Whether your journeys have come to an end or are about to begin, the Shiokaze hostelry is an ideal place to rest, relax, and reflect. Or so they say. And with that, my dear scions, I bid you farewell. As soon as we replenish our supplies, we must away. Ours was ever a fast-moving business. A spice trade, you mean? But of course. Surely you did not think I traveled halfway around the world and delivered you to your destination solely out of the kindness of my heart. No, you were blackmailed. Perish the thought. Thank you, Captain, and may the Navigator watch over and keep you. He's pretty cool for a pirate, not gonna lie. Right then, to the hostelry. After you. I do love Kugane. It's so vibrant and colorful and full of life. And what can I say? I love the Asian aesthetic.
By the 12. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
I love that she's gotten her confidence. She used to be such a... Oh.
1,000 pardons, my lady.
She used to be such a fretful little thing.
The signs of the 7th dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
And you are?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugani and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
Lolorito? I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugani. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants, especially those who serve a master with whom we have such a difficult relationship.
My, such naked suspicion. I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of all faith in your fellow man. Or do you really think the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
Well, it is Lolorito we're talking about.
I beg your pardon. If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
Oh dear, have I offended you? Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then, I shall explain. You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port. Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government. Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
To paraphrase, Kugani is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
Well, it may be suspicious, but they do have a point. I don't trust him one bit, and neither should you. Forgive me, the mere mention of the East Aldenard Trading Company is enough to... I am fine, truly. You need not worry. Nobody would blame you if you weren't, Alphino. I dare say Alphino has met his match. So there are Imperial spies everywhere. Great. Just great. We should have expected it. And you must be Foxy Games, slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, stealer of pants, if some more puzzling rumors are to be believed. Oh my god, is that a reference to the Hildebrand quests? That's incredible. I knew it! May I say what an honor and a pleasure it is to make your acquaintance, my lady. I just know you and I are going to get along famously. We'll see about that, Hancock. Now then, without further ado, allow me to escort you to the company offices. This being your first visit to our fair city, I shall make an effort to point out various landmarks along the way, if you'd be so kind as to follow me. If that was a reference to the Hildebrand quests, just bravo. Bravo. Let's talk to these people here. Sake seems a simple drink, but depending on the place it was made and the hand which made it, the flavor is subtly different. I shall have to sample them all. Well, that's as good an excuse to as any to get sloshed. A fine morning to you, madam. Shall I pour you a drink? You may be assured that whatever you desire, I have or can acquire in a timely fashion. What do you do here? Oh, not so much. I smile, I pour drinks, and lend an ear as necessary. As you can well imagine, given our position relative to the peers, the Shiokaze hostelry is the first and final stop for a great many people from a great many places. Kugane is open to all. We have no desire to make bitter enemies, and so we refrain from forging alliances. All are equal here, after a fashion, which is why our fair city is rich in trade as well as culture. That said, we are not without our troubles. Sailors being sailors and so forth. Never here, of course. My clientele knows better than to incur the wrath of this Seki Segumi, I trust. Why, only Kugane's premier purveyor of intoxicating beverages. Owing to our close relationship with Koshu's finest brewers, we offer an unmatched selection of Junmaishu, a rice wine that is very pure and rich in flavor. Of course, not every individual comes to the hostelry for drink. Travelers often gather here to have discussions regarding business and personal affairs, both occasionally leading to emotional outbursts, though the latter is rather more... Oh, that was close. I very nearly said something foolish. Where was I? Ah, yes. Can I interest you in a glass of Junmaishu? No, we're good. I am sorry, but I have nothing to offer you. Come back again some other time. You must meet the following... Oh, I have to do clan hunts for these guys. Okay. So we're not going to do that. Shitan. Welcome to the Shiokaze hostelry. Should you wish to sample the flavors of Kugane, or simply to rest and recover from the rigors of your travels, we stand ready to meet your every need. Lovely. But I think we'll move on. How lovely to see a fellow Eorzean so far from home. As one with experience in the wonders and dangers of the Far East, allow me to offer you some advice. Always keep your weapon close at hand. I guess it is dangerous here. Nice bow, by the way. Anybody up here to talk to? God, love the music here. And then this absolute beast of a man, he says, would you please stop gobbling your food like an uncultured hog? You like to choke on your chopsticks. Oof. Oh, there's stuff up here. Stuff we will not be going to just yet. One more person to speak to. Ah, an Ijin. Come, sit with me and have a drink. I would hear the fantastic tales of your travels. Ijin. I guess that's supposed to be like Gaijin, which is the word for foreigner. Well, as we jump off the roof... Repairman... Who are you? There's no denying that the tea and sweets here are excellent, but that is not the reason I frequent this establishment. I come here to see her. Ume is stunning, is she not? Ume? Is she the one at the bar? No. I don't know who this Ume is. Waka. To think that all the men here are more interested in stuffing their faces with dango than talking to a pretty girl and offering to buy her tea. Are there no gentlemen left in Kugane? I mean, if you're just looking for a meal, a free meal for that matter, or free tea. Oh, this is Ume. Welcome to the Ume Neko Tea House, the best place to drown your sorrows in platefuls of dango and cups of tea. What will you be having today, madam? We'll pass on the dango, or is it dango? I don't know. In the market for master crafting tomes? Well enough, Eorzean, but you'll need to see a man in your homeland first. One guiding star in Revenant's Toll. Alright, this is all crafting shit, so we don't need to worry about that. Alright, so let's talk to our friends here. I'd say, what is that I smell wafting from yonder tea house? Could it be... Yes, could it possibly be the scent of whispered secrets waiting to be overheard? Oh, you don't mean the dango. I note that our would-be host has elected to dress in the local fashion. I do not like the cut of this man's jib, not one bit. Even the Aetherites look different here. So they do. That is one fancy Aetherite. Everyone, if I could have your attention, please. You are now standing in Tenkonto. Loosely translated, it means... the name means a spire of drifting souls, which, as some of you may have deduced, makes reference to the Aetherite which stands over yonder. The design is markedly different from those of Sharlayan, yet I trust its function is identical. A diplomat and a scholar, will wonders never cease. Far Eastern Aetherite technologies have a long and storied tradition, I assure you. This particular example was constructed by the Onishishu, a collective of skilled craftsmen, who guard their ancestral techniques with the utmost secrecy. In short, you will find it no less reliable than its Western counterparts. Attune if you like. We shall. In fact, I'll go do that before any further speaking. A samurai. Tenkonto is as the crossroads of Kugane. Many people pass through it every day, and I have learned to recognize the lawbreaker and the troublemaker. Conduct yourself with respect, and we shall have no quarrel. Ah, he must be one of the lawmen here. Well, we don't intend on making any trouble, especially not in a foreign realm. Beautiful though it may be, we cannot spend all day staring at the Aetherite. Come, come, let us move along. The markets are next. To the markets, then. There sure are a lot of people here. We have some of our finest actors performing today. Why deprive yourself of this wondrous spectacle? Save yourself the stabbing pain of regret and come and see the show. Oh, there must be a playhouse or something. Tataru. He's still my heart. Oh, she's in love with the markets, I see. Well, well, I would expect no less of a bustling port. No sign of Gosetsu or Yugiri here. Not that I expected to stumble across them just like that, though it would have been nice. It sure would. Just look at all these garish designs. Not fond of subtlety, are they? Is that a theater over there? It sure appears to be. Oh yes, an Ethernet shard. Very good. We have arrived at the largest shopping district in Kugane, Kogane Dori. Kugane, as you are doubtless unaware, is an ancient Hingan word for gold. So, in this prosperous port where golden fortunes are made, lesser fortunes, or kogane, are earned by the local merchants. It's all quite logical once you learn the language. Now you're beginning to speak my language. Oh, a kindred spirit. What a pleasure it is to meet a young lady who appreciates the value of hard-won coin. Starting to like him, are you, Tataru? Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company. You are with clients today? Why, if it isn't Master Kaiten. Pray allow me to introduce you to my esteemed guests, but recently come from distant Eorzea. This kind and generous soul supervises all transactions here in Kogane Dori. Your sincerity is ever appreciated. As he says, I am Kaiten of the Hakuchi clan, and it is my honor to serve as overseer of these markets. As we receive many foreign visitors in Kugane, we accept all manner of currencies. Rest assured, your Eorzean Gyr are welcome here. I invite you to peruse our wares at your leisure. Arms, armor, foodstuffs, potables. Here you will find all of them and more. Well, onward then. Don't think I haven't memorized every detail of that street. There's at least half a dozen shops that will soon be enjoying my custom. Very good, Tataru. We're actually quite far from the docks now, aren't we? This place is bigger than I thought. The district up ahead has a different air about it. It sure does. It looks more regal. But I see an emblem that unsettles me. Where to next, I wonder? If we may pause here for a moment. This road leads to the Ijingai, the district in which Ijin, or foreigners, are permitted to reside. Would this also be where the foreign embassies are found, including that of a certain empire? Precisely. So you see, it would not be at all unusual to cross paths with one of our Garlean cousins here. With this in mind, I would encourage you to choose your words carefully. We would not want any physical altercations after all, such spats being strictly forbidden. The Seki Segumi punish breaches of the peace quite severely. I have seen foreigners permanently exiled for a single violation, though to be fair, this is not common. More often than not, they are executed on the spot. What? Cut down then and there? You're joking, right? Would that I were, but alas, these samurai are a humorless lot. Why, I recall one instance when a foreign merchant in his cups dared lay hands upon a Hingan aristocrat in front of the Seki Segumi. A samurai cut him in half with a single stroke. Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. So, as you see, it would behoove you to behave. Failing that, we may be forced to part ways with one another, or you with yourselves in the manner of the late Teleji Adeleji. What a morbid joke. I like him. Oh, how I amuse myself. But we must carry on. I have yet to show you the Garlean consulate. Oh, come on, it wasn't that shocking a joke. Besides, fuck Teleji. Oh yes, and there's an ether right up here. I will go ahead and attune to. This person's name is Festus. That's a funny name. That's close enough, savage. Ah, fuck you then. Danger! Excitement! Intrigue! Oh my! Don't get too excited. Some might call it unwise to loiter outside the gates of a hostile empire's consulate. So that building's full of Garleans. Don't get any funny ideas, Lise. Compared to the Hingan architecture, this seems drab and uninspired, or mayhap I have simply had my fill of Garlean aesthetics, such as they are. This, as you may have surmised, is the consulate of you-know-who. Mark the guards at the gate. Are the uniforms not different from those you've seen in the West? Were you to travel far and wide, you would find that many such variations exist, often inspired by local designs, all of which goes to show that even a massive empire seeking to rule all of creation is not without its artisans. True. I guess there are artists even in the Empire. Let's see how good this ring is. It's good. There is oh so much more I could speak of, the soothing waters of the onsen, the ephemeral delights of the pleasure district, but you are doubtless still weary from your long sea voyage. Let us retire to the company offices. You can go ahead and do that real quick. I, on the other hand, am going to go and gather up the rest of these Ethernet crystals. Who are you? Yes, this is the Thavnarian consulate. No, you may not enter without official business. Ah, Thavnar. That's where the dancer art came from. And a place that we will be visiting in Endwalker. I don't think that's very spoilery. I mean, it's in the trailer. Okay, I got all of the Ethernet shards. I probably would have been led around the city, but I figure it's best to just get them out of the way. There's no denying that this place was built for an Uldan. This is true. Look at all of it. Even though this feels just as out of place as the Garlean consulate, it's a lot more comforting. Definitely. No drab gray, that's for sure. Ah, the unmistakable scent of wealth and power. Something you're longing for, is it not, Tataru? I swear, she's a little money grubber. She must be born in Ulda. I dare say we could travel to Mara City or the New World and find a man like Hancock waiting for us. Probably. The New World, huh? That's an interesting thought. Greetings, sirs and ladies, and welcome to the Kugane branch of offices of the East Aldenard Trading Company. At long last we arrive at our destination. May I present to you our humble offices. Humble. We have much to discuss, so I will refrain from further prattle. Come, come, right this way. Well, I'd say this place was built for Lollarito, but those outfits definitely would not fit a Lalafell.
Our thaumaturges took great pains to ward these walls against all manner of surveillance. Where business dealings are concerned, we do not compromise on confidentiality. You may avail yourselves of these offices for the duration of your visit. Come and go as you like, and know that you may speak freely here.
Your offer is most generous, but I will not enter into any agreement which would leave us beholden to you or your master.
A legitimate concern. Allow me to clarify, then. The chairman bids you consider this as an expression of his heartfelt contrition for the bloody banquet and the unpleasantness which followed.
So basically, Lollarito is afraid we might still be harboring ill will.
Never having been one to put stock in words alone, the chairman deems the provision of material aid to be a more appropriate demonstration of his sincerity. By sheer coincidence, your purpose here also happens to coincide with our own interests. That is, assuming you are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front.
How could... I will not bother to offer a denial. You have the right of it. To be specific, we are come in search of our Far Eastern allies, Yugiri and Gosetsu, whom we hope to assist in their fight.
The Aori Shinobi and the Rugadan Samurai? Then you will be pleased to know that they have both come to Kugane.
Are you sure?
Quite. They came here aboard a company vessel, you see. However, they encountered difficulties securing passage across the Ruby Sea.
The Ruby Sea? Sorry, I've never been any good at geography.
Forgive me. This calls for a map. We are here in Kugane, the sole open port of Hingashi, situated on her western coast. Doma, meanwhile, is here on the eastern coast of Otherd in Yansha. Therefore, if your friends are to reach Doma, they must first cross the Ruby Sea. Alas, this is easier said than done, as the Ruby Sea does not fall within the dominion of either Hingashi or Doma, being controlled since antiquity by a third party, namely the Confederacy. Said maritime collective is known for the consummate skill of its sailors, and for demanding that any vessel entering its waters pay a toll referred to as the Ruby Tithe. In exchange, the Confederacy's vast fleet guarantees the safety of those who travel within its territory. Now, as I'm sure you are aware, Garlemald conquered Doma some 25 years past, at which time the Empire saw no value in controlling the Ruby Sea, and thus did they turn a blind eye to the activities of the Confederacy. The recently appointed acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma had other ideas, however. She has formally condemned the Confederacy and declared that any who recognize their authority shall be branded enemies of the Empire. Bowing to this pressure, Hingashi severed ties with these toll-takers and forbade the payment of the Ruby Tithe, prompting the Confederacy to make it known that any merchants choosing to sail the Ruby Sea would do so at their peril.
No wonder they struggled to secure passage to Doma. What captain would risk such a journey given the circumstances?
I am told your friends were not so easily deterred from their course, but I know not whether their persistence bore fruit.
I say we follow in Yugiri and Gosetsu's footsteps and attempt to secure passage to Doma for ourselves. We will need to cross the sea in any case, and we may learn something of their whereabouts in the process. And should we find that they are still in Kugane, we can make the journey together.
In that case, I have some information which may be of use to you. No quid pro quo, I assure you. The chairman was most insistent that I aid you to the best of my ability.
Reminds me a bit of Wymond. Must be the glasses. Well, let's see what our friends have to say. This place is quite comfortable, though. Look at it. Oh, this place takes me back. It reminds me of the workshop of an Uldan lapidary I once served. I wonder if that's a throwback to 1.0. I wouldn't know. He was not exaggerating when he spoke of their ward's efficacy. Whoever wove them did so with consummate skill. You can see them, huh? I must confess I am an avid collector of all things Far Eastern. See for yourself, I insist. Well, since you're inviting... none of these seem particularly Far Eastern. I mean, most of this stuff just seems like... Well, that's an interesting little musket there, and a fine spear, some swords, a buckler, some potions and stones, and what I can only assume to be liquor of some sort. Well, this is definitely Far Eastern in design, and I can only assume that that is Lolorito. He would have a statue of Lolorito. That looks like some kind of game. Anyway. Though I am reluctant to take any action whatsoever that could be construed as placing ourselves in Lord Lodorito's debt, we must avail ourselves of what means are available. Our Alamegan allies place their faith in us, and I do not intend to disappoint them. Indeed. We'll find a way. But we will have to continue with this quest in the next episode. It's been a long journey getting here to Kugane, and we have a longer journey ahead of us. In the next episode, we'll do all we can to get ourselves over to Doma. But in the meantime, my name is Foxy Games. You all take care of yourselves now. Bye.
Bye.